This is a screen with the video from yesterday's quiz. Now let's start today's class, and yeah, we are almost at the end of our topic of the month, the polynomials. This month of January we've been working on polynomials, chapter 4 of our textbook, and look at this. Today is Wednesday, the last day we have to work. Hello Kion, good morning. Any questions? Well, today is the last day. Tomorrow we will have a review of chapter 4, all the topics. I will prepare a quiz with most of the topics that we have been working on this month. And remember, the quiz that we will work tomorrow is going to be very, very similar to the tests. And this is only between us, right? Because if you come tomorrow prepared to work every question, to pay attention and work every question of the quiz, so you can apply, you can use this knowledge, this chance to answer the tests on Friday. On Friday we will not have meeting, we have only tests, but I'm going to be here available to help you if you need. I will not be able to help you with questions from the tests. No, I'm not help with if it's a question from the tests, it's up to you, you have to solve by yourself, but I can help you with the questions from the review. And if you find a similar question, I can help you out with this, solving a question from the review that maybe you're going to be able to apply on the knowledge on the test as well. So that's it. This is our week, what I have planned. And today is the last topic, the last thing that we will work on chapter 4 of our textbook, the reference for our curriculum. Okay, quick review. These last days we have been working on factoring techniques. And one of the techniques is to factor out the greatest common factor. If you have one factor, one number or variable that you can factor out that is present in all the terms, that means you can factor it out. And also you have special cases like the difference of two squares, the perfect square trinomial, and the factoring by grouping. So those are special cases or special techniques that you can apply. This is a very good summary of all the techniques that we worked so far. And yesterday we added one more. Is this one? Factor sum and difference of cubes. You have the formulas, two formulas that you can apply to solve this situation. And my question now, how would you complete this first formula here? Try to remember, if you applied yesterday on solving the quiz, you can check. You don't need to memorize any of these formulas. You can check it out. You can have a paper by your side with all the formulas. You can have a file on your computer with all the formulas. That's okay. You don't need to memorize. Tell me now, what's going to be the sign that's missing here and here? On the first slot, A is minus b or a plus b. On the second slot here is a squared minus ab or a squared plus ab. What do you think is the right answer? Type now in the chat box. Do you remember we worked yesterday on the quiz and we applied these formulas? I'm gonna choose here a couple of students to answer. So Jada, what do you think? Is plus and minus or minus and plus? What do you think is the right answer? And another student here to answer this. Let me ask to Alexander. So Jada and Alexander, what do you think? Is plus and minus or minus and plus? Anyone else? If you want to answer, that's okay. You can type here in the chat. Anyone else that knows the answer can also help. What do you think? The formula for a cubed plus b cubed. How can you factor it out? It actually is going to be the other way around. It's going to be, if you check the formula, and that's something very important for you. You don't need to memorize. The first one here is going to be positive, plus, and minus. On the other formula, it's going to be the way you told me, Jada. It's minus here and plus here. Okay? So don't memorize. Don't need to memorize the formulas. You can have a paper, a piece of paper. You can have a file. You need to have an easy access, an easy way to find your formulas. When you need, you just grab your notebook or your papers, anywhere. You need to have access to these formulas, and there's no excuse for making a mistake on the tests or on the quizzes and tell me, oh no, because I messed up the formula, I used the wrong formula. No, you don't need to have this in your mind, in your memory. Don't trust your memory. Okay, here is the answer. This is the right formula. And you applied yesterday to solve the questions of the quiz. Today, let's talk about solving equations by using the zero product rule. Remember, this is the last topic where we will work on chapter 4, on polynomials. And this is kind of an application. You're going to see that after learning lots of techniques of working of polynomials, multiplying and adding and subtracting and factoring, now you will apply all this knowledge, all these techniques on one kind of application, is to solve equations. One first equation that we can solve is this quadratic equation in one variable. And if you have ax squared plus bx plus c, this is a trinomial, right? 1, 2, 3, 3 terms, trinomial. If you make this equals to 0, now you have a quadratic equation. Every time you have an expression and you add equals to something, and this expression becomes an equation. Now it's an equation. How to solve quadratic equations in one variable? And let's move on to the procedure. The procedure is here, the step by step. Step number 1, write the equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, apply the zero product rule, and then you're going to find the set of numbers that are the solution for the equation. The zero product rule, I will explain working on the example, is something very simple. It's just if you have a series of factors equals to 0, at least one of the factors, it needs to be equals to 0 to make the whole thing to be equals to 0. We will see how to apply this at the end, okay? So hold on, let's work on this example here. And we have, just adjust 2x squared minus 5x equals 12. How to solve it? Using the step by step. The first thing, write the equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we need to make this equals to 0. We will subtract. This is the application of addition property of equality, and we can subtract 12 from both sides of the equation. because we can simplify, and then we will have as a result 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 equals 0. Great! See? We have on the right, now the equation is on the right form. Factor completely. Remember, apply the factoring techniques. One of the techniques is to factor trinomials, and it's about breaking down this second term into 2. Remember, and then you're going to factor by grouping. You need to find 2 numbers that the multiplication is equals to a times c, 2 times 12, negative 24. And find 2 numbers that if you add is equals to b. b is equals to negative 5. Let's write down here at the bottom. Let's say this is our scratch paper. What are the 2 numbers that make 24? 1 times 24, yes. 2 times 12, yes. 3 times 8, nice. And 4 times 6. So you have a few numbers that if you multiply, you make 24. Now if you combine them, if you add or subtract, you need to have 5. What are the 2 numbers that you can add or subtract and make negative 5? Well, not this, not this, not 4 and 6, maybe 3 and 8. Check it out. You can make 3 minus 8 equals negative 5, and you can make 3 times negative 8 equals negative 24. Great! We have the 2 numbers. Now break down this term, negative 5, into 2. So we can write the equation as 2x squared, just repeat. Instead of negative 5, we're going to write minus 8x plus 3. Let me just instead, yeah, you can do this. Plus 3x minus 12. Right? We can break it down like this, and this needs to be equals to 0. Check this out. This negative 8x plus 3 is the same thing as negative 5x. Now, factoring by grouping. Group in pairs. Have 2 pairs, and then you can write the first pair. We can write as if we factor out 2x, you can write as 2x times x minus 4. And the second one, if we factor out 3, we can write as 3 times x minus 4. Those are the same binomials. We can also factor it out. So it's 2x plus 3 times x minus 4 equals 0. And now we will use this thing here, the zero product rule. That means for this whole thing here to be equals to 0, this one needs to be equals to 0, or this one needs to be equals to 0. Let's make x minus 4 equals to 0. Then x equals 4. And let's make 2x plus 3 equals to 0. After you simplify, you're going to find that x needs to be equals to negative 3 over 2, right? Let me just make it clear here, negative 3 over 2, right? Okay, now you have the answers, you have the solution, and you will represent this as a set of numbers. To represent a set of numbers, we're going to use this special bracket here that's called brace, and the answer is x equals negative 3 over 2 and 4. On the quiz, you just need to answer the numbers, because I know some students, they work with the smartphone, they work with the tablet, and they have trouble to find the brackets. So you just need to answer the numbers separated by comma. About this example, it's kind of a lot, it's too much, it's a bit hard. Let's check out the whole thing. It's a little bit hard. I agree, Chiara. It's a little bit hard. But it's hard because we are at the end of chapter 4, and we are putting together, we are working with all the knowledge that we have accumulated, that we have learned. Okay? That's the reason it's hard, because we are using too many things. Don't worry, this is going to be the hardest question of the test. Just one question like this, and if you check the quiz, those are the last questions of the quiz. We will start a bit easier with more straightforward questions that you don't have to do that much work. Okay? Don't need to be scared. And Jonali, it's a bit harder than usual. Yes, I agree. Jonali. I agree, Chiara. This is the reason. It's not because it's difficult. It's because we are putting together, we are using all the things that we learned during this whole month, during the chapter 4, the month that we dedicated to learn about chapter 4 polynomials. We are using everything. We need to practice, we need to work a little bit, and this is the hardest one that you're going to find on the test. This is the test is going to be much easier than this one, don't worry. Now, if you have any specific question, just let me know. If you want, you can check the answer from the book, which is always helpful because it's neat, it's clean, have all the step-by-step. But we will practice. We will move now to work on more examples or more questions on the quiz. Right now, if you don't have any specific question, I think it's better to spend some time working on the quiz. What do you think? If you agree, let's move on and work on the quiz. But before, there's this challenge here. Can you describe the graph of the equation in one word? Try to answer this challenge, and then you're going to type the equation into the graphing calculator. Let's check how we can do this. Type x squared plus, and parentheses, y minus. And this cube root, you're going to find here on fx, and the root, and you need number 3 here, this cube root, and go ahead and have x squared, go ahead, and this is a square, equals to 1. What is the shape that you can see? What is the first word that comes to your mind? Can you see a shape? Can you see the shape that's represented on the screen here on the graphing calculator? Yeah, Jada, that's right, it's a heart. So you can write down, it's a heart. And some people, when they see this shape, the first word that comes to the mind is love. Yes, you can write heart, you can write love. Both are the right answer. So here on the blank, you're going to write love, or you can write heart. Yeah, this is the equation of the heart. I see, I was searching on the internet, I see some t-shirts they sell with the, probably to math teachers, that says I, and this equation here, math, like I love math. It's not the kind of shirt I would buy, but maybe some math teachers, they like it. The answer is love or heart. Let's move now to our quiz. Well, check it out. Let's check the easy questions first, and then we increase. We go on and gonna increase in level of difficulty. This is kind of an easy one. How to make this equals to 0. We have x plus 3 times x plus 5 equals to 0. You have to check what makes this equal 0 and what makes that equal 0. And then you're going to have the solution set. For each question on the quiz today, you can have at least two answers. Two answers. X plus 3 equals 0. So you need to have x equals negative 3, right? To make this 0. And x plus 5 equals 0. So you need to have x equals negative 5. The solution set is going to be brackets or braces, negative 5 and negative 3. This is the solution set. Since some students don't have the brackets on the keyboards, cannot find the brackets on the keyboard, or cannot find on the smartphone, you just need to type the numbers separated by comma, like here. I will even erase the brackets so you don't make a mistake. Only the numbers separated by comma, because the brackets are already here. Check it out. That's the reason you don't need the brackets. They are already here represented. I will check attendance now, and after a minute we can come back and work on more examples, okay?